Hazon chapter 18. And after this I saw another messenger coming down from the heaven, having great authority, and the earth was lightened from his esteem. And he cried with a mighty voice, saying, Babel the great is fallen, is fallen. It has become a dwelling place of demons, a haunt for every unclean spirit, and a haunt for every unclean and hated bird, because all the nations have drunk of the wine of the wrath of her whoring, and the sovereigns of the earth had committed whoring with her, and the merchants of the earth had become rich through the power of her riotous living. And I heard another voice from the heavens saying, Come out of her, my people, lest you share in her plagues, and lest you receive of her plagues, because her sins have piled up to reach the heaven, and Elohim has remembered her unrighteousness. Render to her as she indeed did render, and repay her double according to her works, in the cup which she has mixed for her double. As much as she esteemed herself and lived riotously, so much torture and grief give to her, because in her heart she says, I sit as sovereigness, and I am not a widow, and I do not see mourning at all. Because of this, her plagues shall come in one day, death and mourning and scarcity of food, and she shall be burned up with fire, because Yahweh Elohim, who judges her, is mighty. And the sovereigns of the earth who committed whoring and lived riotously with her shall weep and mourn over her when they see the smoke of her burning, standing at a distance for fear of her torture, saying, Woe, woe, the great city Babel, the mighty city, because your judgment has come in 1 hour. And the merchants of the earth weep and mourn over her, because no one buys their merchandise anymore. Merchandise of gold and silver and precious stone and pearls and fine linen and purple and silk and scarlet and all citron wood and every object of ivory and every object of most precious wood and bronze and iron and marble and cinnamon and incense and fragrant oil and frankincense and wine and oil and fine flour and wheat and cattle and sheep and horses and carriages and bodies and lives of men. And the fruit that your being longed for has gone from you, and all your riches and splendor are lost to you, and you shall find them no more, not at all. The merchants of these, those who become rich by her, shall stand at a distance for fear of her torture, weeping and mourning, saying, Woe, woe, the great city that was distressed in fine linen and purple and scarlet, and adorned with gold and precious stones and pearls. For in 1 hour such great riches was laid waste, and every shipmaster and every passenger and sailors and as many as work the sea for their living stood at a distance and cried out when they saw the smoke of her burning, saying, What is like this great city? And they threw dust on their heads and cried out, weeping and mourning, and saying, Woe, woe, the great city in which all who had ships on the sea became rich by her wealth. For in 1 hour she was laid waste. Rejoice over her, O heaven, and you set apart emissaries and prophets, for Yahweh has completely avenged you on her. And one mighty messenger picked up a stone like a great millstone and threw it into the sea, saying, With such a rush the great city Babel shall be thrown down, and shall not be found any more at all. And the sound of harpists and musicians and flautists and trumpeters shall not be heard in you any more at all. And no craftsman of any trade shall be found in you any more at all. And the sound of a millstone shall not be heard in you any more at all. And the light of a lamp shall not shine in you any more at all. And the voice of bridegroom and bride shall not be heard in you any more at all. For your merchants were the great ones of the earth, for by your drug sorcery all the nations were led astray, and in her was found the blood of prophets and set apart ones, and of all who were slain on the earth.